Welcome to another episode of Consciousness Chronicles. We are just regular women sharing our wit and wisdom over today a glass of champagne. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, girl.
Yeah. And
So
if you
good
see
to
us
hear.
guzzling this stuff, it's okay.
It's actually water.
It's okay. It's okay. This is our weekly show with random subjects that we just pull from the little jar here, spiritual and non-spiritual, just to give you a down-to-earth perspective from two regular folk here. The podcast is designed to bridge the gap between the spiritual novice and the conscious veteran. Wherever you are in your journey, we're all still human, and we're here to embrace and learn from this beautiful life. La vida loca. So,
Viviendo la vida loca, like Ricky Martin said.
yes. So we're going to do a deep dive today. We'll see how crazy we get.
Mm.
And the winner is mind, body, spirit connection.
Ooh, one of my favorite conversations.
That's a good one.
I love that.
Mm.
You start this.
Okay, because something that came to mind right away for me was, and I feel like I'm always going back to my cancer journey, but it's the biggest shift point in my life where so many lessons came in so fast and furious. A big one for me was when I was writing my book, and I've shared this somewhere else before, I know on a podcast. I was sharing my cancer journey in my book, and I was starting to have stomach issues, and I was starting to feel sick again. And all of a sudden it popped into my mind, your body doesn't know you're not going through cancer again. Because you're doing a deep dive into this book, you're reliving all this stuff, and your body's going back there and reliving all of it. And I had to take like a break for about a month or two from doing anything with the book and just sit with that and talk to my body. Because the body didn't know the mind was just working on something. The body connected with the mind. And I'm sure there was something in my spirit at that time too that was going back and reliving things, because I was pulling through prayers, I was pulling through meditations, I was pulling through new thoughts and things that had shifted for me in the past decade since I went through that. And the body didn't know. The body was just like going through it in that now moment. The body didn't realize we're talking about something 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So a big lesson for me was just, we got to talk to our bodies. They're just as conscious as every other aspect of our spiritual being, and let them know they're safe and loved. And this is not happening for you again. You did so good. You fought so hard. You put up with so much bullshit on that journey. I am honoring you now, and I am taking care of you to the best of my knowledge and ability. And it's safe. You are safe and you are loved. And I had to go through that like a mantra for a couple weeks.
You know what they say? The issue is in the tissue. So if you have, from my experience, because I had breast issues since I was in my 20s until I was in my 40s. And breasts are about relationships with your mother, relationships with a lover, relationship. And I had 3 sisters that died in Puerto Rico, have sisters from my father's side that had died from ovarian cancer, and 2 that died from breast cancer. So there was this like little program.
Ancestral trauma.
There was this little program that if they have it, therefore I probably have it. And I took the gene test and I didn't have it. That doesn't mean you can't. And I remember when I finally, my mother passed on and I finished my relationship with my second husband, all my breast issues went away. And I did a lot about my self-worth and my own mothering and my own, once again, finding my voice. And I think it's like that. I mean, That doesn't mean don't go to the doctor and get checked. This is, you know, I I've had, you know, I had all these issues that I was born with, and I did not own them. I
Mm,
remember, the doctors, the cardiologist saying to my mother when I was very young, she's not going to be able to like do any kind of sports. I forged my mother's signature so I could run cross country in ninth and 10th grade. And yeah, it was a big deal. And then I had to go get, I had to tell my doctor, my regular doctor that had known me since I was a kid. I promised him, like, if I had any kind of symptoms, that I was to just not, quit. And I showed them. I was
but
told
didn't
I
your
could,
spirit know this is what you longed to do and you could do it,
yeah.
and everything was kind of working in concert?
I believe that there's a disconnection in our society. We are programmed from very young because of fear of whatever your belief system is, like whatever your parents instill in you, you attach to that. I was very stubborn as a child. I came in with all these health issues, and I remember thinking, I'm not going to own that. Like, no, I'm not. No. I was told I probably wouldn't be able to have children. And so I had gotten into my head, well, therefore, if I have these long issues, I have these issues with my body, I better have children early. And I had a lot of miscarriages, and I did have my two sons, one at 20 and one at 22. I believe that when you are in connection with your body, your mind, and your spirit, there is nothing you cannot overcome. Because your belief system, what you believe in actually manifests into your body, and even into your spiritual body. So I know you and I talk about this a lot. The reason we walk, like I walk every morning, and the reason I get out there is to actually connect my soul, my spirit, into my physical body, because while I'm walking, it's like I'm meditating. And I also know, just like you, when I'm feeling off, and I say off because I feel like I'm not in my body, or I'm too much in my body and not, or I'm too much in my mind and not in my spirit. I I'm in balance, and that's where all the issues that we have come through. I mean, that's what I believe. I believe that disease is a disconnection between one or two of our bodies, whether it be spiritual or mind. Is what the dis-ease is, what is a disconnection.
Yes.
So I might be wrong, but that's my belief system. you know
Well, and I don't think you're wrong, but things are constantly changing too. So we could change our minds on that next week.
we can, and I probably will.
Yeah,
But right
and
now, that's what I
so
believe in.
what?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another hang up I have. I don't like it when people act like, well, you can't change your mind. I'm like, why not? Do you know how
Because
many timelines we're jumping every day? People, please.
if you
Shit's
tell people that,
rapidly changing.
if you tell people that,
Yeah, no.
speaking of, I know that we're on I know that I'm gonna
I tell you people like you
I
and
would
other
take,
people
right,
like
I want to
you.
take a left turn here. As you said, timelines. I feel that sometimes, God, I get so dark with every time the sun comes out and hides. I feel that one of the things that I question myself a lot is when I get stuck in a thought and I can't shift it. Like, my nights are horrible. I am in my head at night when I can't sleep. In
Mm,
the day, I don't have those loops. It's like somebody with dementia that, at sundown, they actually, they get worse. I feel that at night, it's like I can't go for a walk because it's the middle of the night. I've done enough humming, because they say that if you hum, you can't hum and actually have a thought. So I sit up and I hum, or I chant, because while you're doing that, but then, okay, I stop and I go back to sleep, and I wake up again with the same thought. And I'm trying to find balance in that, where I get out of my head and I can actually step into my heartbeat or my body, because then I start feeling the disconnection of my body. So my body starts to have issues, whether it's stomach issues or, or headaches. And that's when I know that I'm really out of whack. Because if I haven't changed my diet, what diet? If I haven't changed the way I'm eating and I haven't changed anything that I'm drinking or whatever, and my body starts to feel it, I know for a fact, okay, where am I pulling from this imbalance? And I'm sure that it happens to you too.
Yeah, a little differently to where I'm so food sensitive now because I've altered my diet so drastically and found what I feel right now is the sweet spot for me. I'm not saying it's going to be that way long term, but right now it is. When that's off just a little bit, everything gets out of whack. The brain starts going into overdrive. I start to feel kind of depressed.
Mhm.
So there really is a delicate balance that I just look back at my previous life and it's like, how did I function? I just let one of those things drive the fucking bus 100 miles an hour down the freeway and ignored the other two.
Mhm.
And
Work out for you.
yeah, right. I don't know, stage 3 cancer. That's how it worked out because I was in my mind the whole time just trying to, keep a narcissistic boss at bay and another psychotic one at bay and trying to just freaking nurture these creative people that I wasn't allowed to nurture because I had to be an iron fist. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is so not me. But you know what? Just drove that bus 100 miles an hour until it crashed. And then I was like, yeah, something's got to shift.
Do you think I don't think people talk about, especially women, about the effects of menopause. Do you feel that that also shifts the entire
Yes.
um mind, body, and spirit? Well, I say this because I had a hysterectomy at 39 and they left half of an ovary on one side and the whole one on the other side.
Oh,
Like
you're
my
lucky.
uterus. And so yeah, but I was thrown into hot flashes. That was 39. I'm 56. So I've been dealing with hot flashes for a long time.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
but I do notice that when I am stressed, I might not have them for a while, but the minute that I'm super stressed about something and I'm not connected to my spirit, those hot flashes come to get me. I'm having an eternal hell. Like the other night, my friend was here and I had 9 of them within like 8 hours. I had 9 of them. Like I was like in the middle of my bed going, "Oh my God, what is this?" And it was because I was worked up about something and it was
Mhm.
like, so do you feel that as we get older, we have to work really hard in connecting the mind, body, and spirit than when we were younger, and just because our bodies are younger and they don't, do you feel that?
Yes and no. I think as we come to a place where we're more consciously aware and we're more centered in our life and starting to step into who we really are, it's a little bit easier to be more conscious of all those aspects working together. Where before, like I said, when I was in the corporate world, it was just like mind only, driving the bus 100 miles an hour, didn't give a shit about the other two, which is a detriment, I think. Um, I don't know that younger people think that way. I'm looking at my kids and everything seems to be siloed for all three of them in that respect. They're not getting it all in sync,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
I didn't get
But
all in
definitely
sync
the
yet.
menopause is a whack job, and I think it's incredibly unfair to older women because they took my ovaries when they did my colon resection in 2013. I'm still hot flashing all night long. So
Mhm.
something in the astral planes got me worked up to where I'm hot flashing because it's not happening during the day, just at night.
Well, that's the same with me. I mean, I might have them very periodically during the day, but it's at night when I'm sleeping and it wakes me up and I'm like, what is this? Like, what, like when does this, I don't
Mhm.
remember my mother. My mother had me at 44. I don't ever remember my mother ever complaining about hot flashes. And so she had a hysterectomy at 80 when she got cancer and they took everything out and she went at 80 into horrible hot flashes, and she was complaining to me. And of course, I hadn't had my hysterectomy yet. And,
Wow.
and I thought to myself, at 80, so she must have not gone through a severe menopause,
Wow.
because she woke up in a hot flash at the hospital. I went to see her, and I mean, I was there, and she came out, she goes, "Oh my God, I'm dying." And I was like, "No, I think you're having a hot flash." And I don't think she ever had one before. I don't know if that has to do with biology, or it has to do with awareness, or can we control our hot flashes? I don't know. I don't know. Once again, how is that connected to our mind and the body
Mhm.
connected to our mind
Mhm.
and our spirit? Why is spirit making me sweat and have an eternal
Yeah,
now?
yeah. Well, I try to get conscious when I have them at night, and it's covers on and off all night long. I don't think I've slept since 2013, a whole night.
That's me.
And I try to sink into the body and try to control it, and there's no controlling it. It's its own entity.
I don't have them every night, but, and I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry that I brought this up in the middle of mind, body, and spirit, but I think that people our age understand that.
Yeah. And ladies, this is what you got to look forward to. Hopefully it gets figured out before then, because it's been way too many decades of this shit not being figured out.
Yeah, this is
And
not
I don't
something
care, black cohosh, all that crap, never worked for
I
me.
don't think anyone ever, I don't remember as a young girl ever hearing my aunts or my cousins that were older talk about the changes in their bodies, which also affects us mentally, and it affects us, spiritually. Because if you're uncomfortable in your body, it's hard to connect to anything, because you're in discomfort. And I mean, that's when I go into meditation, or I go take a walk or do something. But in the middle of the night, I can't do the walking, so I can't avoid it. Because
Yeah,
if I'm walking, I'm not thinking about, oh, I have arthritis on this finger, or I'm like, I'm just walking, and I'm in nature. As long as I'm in nature, I'm
yeah.
happy as can be.
What do you suppose people in chronic pain are doing,
Oh God, I feel sorry for
to
them.
connect that mind, body, and spirit? I can't really speak to that.
I don't know, but there are millions of people that are
There are.
living through issues, and I don't know, but it's got to be rough, because my sciatica every once in a while will cause me like 2 or 3 days of not being able to move, and I have to force myself to get up and do. And I'm thinking, oh my God, the people that live in, I mean, my heart goes out to them, the people that live in chronic pain, and it's debilitating, and there's a part of you that is not living, because if you can't use your body, I don't know. And I don't even know what people do in those cases, other than hopefully take medicine to knock that out. Or how do you connect to the other bodies, your
Right.
spirituality, or even to your mind, when your mind is constantly being triggered with pain and discomfort? Like, how do you get out of it?
Yeah, yeah.
How did you do it while you were going through chemo?
Lots of edibles.
So you were numbing the pain. I mean, in a way.
Yeah, yeah, I was. It was like every other week I'd go to chemo at the place, and then I'd come home with a pump that would go for 48 hours. And I was so wiped out from being at the place, getting all that chemo cocktail in me, and then coming home, that it was very uncomfortable, because they'd pump you up with steroids on top of giving you drugs that made you sleepy, but you really couldn't sleep real well. So I remember a dear friend made me some edibles to help me get through it, and I was not a user of any of that stuff, so I had no idea what I was doing, and was not in any place to even think to look up about it, learn about it. I just said, I can handle this. So I took a little piece and ate it. And then like 30, 40 minutes later, I'm like, I don't feel a damn thing. So I popped a half of one again. I was literally asleep for 2 days. Greg thought I was dead, but then every once in a while I'd get up, shuffle to the bathroom and shuffle back, and then fall asleep again.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'd much rather be in that place. than sit and have my mind going thoughts about what my body's feeling and mm.
I
But there's a
totally
lesson
get
in
it.
all of it, right? I mean, I can look back on it now and I can laugh about it and think that's great, but at the time, yeah, it
Right, you were
was,
just trying to survive.
yeah,
You're on survival mode. And
yep,
maybe that's what happens with people that are sick or are going through health challenges. They're actually on autopilot. They're just surviving, just trying to make it. And I mean, one way or another, we're all just surviving, but it depends on what we're surviving. Um, I really think that if it wasn't for my routine and yours to really find a way to connect once or twice a day with spirit, um, I'd be a basket case. I
yeah.
mean, my spirituality is what actually gets me, or my beliefs are actually what gets me through the rough patches, whether I'm feeling sick or, you know, and I also believe that with me, because I go, and then I get sick, and then I can't move for 2 days. It's almost as if like if you be more gentle with you and actually allow the process of all this to go through instead of bulldozing your way through it, you wouldn't get sick. And then I'm like, I can't get up. I'm sick as a dog. And I think it's just my higher self putting me on timeout. So I have no other choice but to connect to my mind,
Mm,
to my spirit, because the
mm-hmm.
body is said, and I think that that's the imbalance when we bulldoze our way through any of those three
Yes.
bodies, you're gonna have to pay the price one way or another.
Yeah, that's been a big one for me the past few years was just being able to be in a place of stillness and not do a thing.
Mhm.
And I was so type A, and I can definitely jump back into that whenever I want, but to the point where I can't sit on the couch and just read a book for 2 hours. I have to be doing something. There are things that need done. And it's like, oh, hell no, because if you're not gonna make that space in your life for nothing and rest for nothing, and your human is thinking it's nothing, but it's actually something. You're opening up space for those other things that you need to know or you need to create to come through. And
I
that
agree.
is vital. And like you said, you're going to get knocked on your ass if you're not going to make space and time for that.
That's why I wake up at 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, I'm not going to go look on social media unless I'm finished doing my meditation. That's how I start my day. And if I don't do it, I have to do it before I go to bed because it's the only thing that actually connects me back where I can actually tune in to what am I feeling today? How am I going to navigate this day? And I don't make a to-do list. That's done after I get up and I have my coffee and then I come to my office and I do my agenda. I got to do this. I got to work. I got to do, you know what I mean? But I don't know what people do. I would love for people to put on the comments what exactly they do to connect to their three bodies together. That would be an interesting communication
Yeah, it really
because I
would.
want to know what other people do. My doesn't work, might not work. What I do and what you do might not work. The people don't want to go outside and sweat and go in nature. That's not their thing. I have a son that's very creative, and when he's in that space, all he does is just create, create, create. He just takes out his paints and he paints. And I think everybody
Mm,
has, I write. When I'm really in
yep,
that space that I can't,
yep,
I'll just come and write.
yep.
So everybody has their thing, but I would love to read what.
Yeah, creativity and writing is a good one for me. And I'm a master at being able to tell you how I know when I'm not connected. But what actually gets the connection going, I need to sit with that and think about it a little bit more because I would be interested in hearing what other people think too. I start stubbing my toe and knocking into
Yeah.
things, like
Yeah.
literally walking into doors. And then I have to, now I know, stop, ground, connect. You are just all over the place.
You know what? This book, I mean, I've had two of them already because this one's yellow. It's called The Secret Language of Your Body, and it's by Ina Siegel. She's Australian. This book, I can't tell you. If I have an ingrown toenail, I'm gonna go look to see what the my toe is trying to tell me because I'm not paying attention. Yeah, that one. You got the newer one. This is an older
Yeah,
one.
because you told me to get it and it's so awesome.
I mean, I'll sit in sessions with clients and they'll tell me something. I'm like, wait, hold up. And I'll look and I'll read it and I go, not all of it has to resonate, but it's your body is telling you what you are not paying attention. Basically, is letting you know, hey, it's giving you a message, and every part of your body has a message. It's like Louise Hayes. I mean, I have Louise Hayes, but she goes more in depth. I'm telling you, I keep it. I will
No,
look. If I'm
it,
away, I will Google it and go, okay, I bumped my elbow. What was that about? Because I do believe nothing happens by mistake. Everything has a
oh,
reason.
absolutely. And the body is the place where it will tell you what's wrong. I learned that after my colon cancer, I learned that resentment and anger are held in this area of the body. And I not only had to clear anger from this lifetime, I had to go back to previous lifetimes where I had QHHT sessions or other forms of regression to figure out what I was holding on to. And the things that came up once I allowed them to come through blew my freaking mind.
Mhm. I had a
And
regression.
I feel great now. I feel great. I don't feel like I need to worry about the C word ever again.
No, no.
Because, and if something does come up, it's like, okay, why? Like, for instance, my left knee, I need to look that up. Um, Past 2 days, it's like, I don't remember doing anything. I really haven't been walking that much. Why is my left knee acting up?
That's being flexible to move forward. Your knee is what moves you forward. What are you hesitating or stomping or stagnation that you are avoiding or in fear or hesitating, because it's not fear of moving forward in your life? What is it that's stopping you? And yeah, the knee is a big one. I don't,
Hmm.
when my knees start, I don't have problems with my knees, but when my knees start, depending on which side it is, I'm like, all right, and then I go, are they all the same? Because when you start reading, you go, are all the ailments always back to this? No, they're not. It's just mine in particular. I might have 3 or 4 different things and they're about the same message. And I'm like, wait, let me go read if there's, because I even doubt what the message is because, I'm stubborn and I don't want, I don't want my body
Yeah,
telling me
you're an
what I need to
Aries.
do. Yeah.
But that speaks so much to the intelligence of our body. How
Mhm.
freaking brilliantly our avatar is designed. I mean, wow.
Your car. This is your car. You are this incredible machine.
But
And just like
it's so
your
much
car, you have to.
smarter than my car. My car's not that
Car.
smart.
My car's not that smart either.
But I
Even
love you. Don't do
yeah.
anything.
But what I'm saying is, if this is your vehicle, you still have to tune it. You still have to take care of it. I
Yes.
mean, and the older you get, the more it starts to break down. The older the car is, you're going to have more issues with it.
Mm.
So you wouldn't just like let it run out of oil, would you? A car? Because it's not going to go anywhere. You will check the tires because if they're low in air, you can have a flat tire and you can't get through. But because of who we are, we think we can bulldoze this vessel that is so intelligent, yelling at us when we have a headache or yelling at us when we have, a stomach issue and get angry. I can't believe I have this now. Well, what is it trying to tell you? And take enough time to sit and figure out how you can shift it. Because once you're aware, that's why the book is so important to me. Once I am aware of what the message of the body is trying to tell me, then I can shift it and go, oh, okay, so I have to I have to now sit spiritually and mindfully and try and shift that. And then guess what? It's not that it goes away, but it starts to react very differently because it was yelling, trying to get an attention. And now it has my attention. And instead of being angry at it, you have to step back and go, what are you trying to tell me that I am not getting in my mind or in my spirit?
Mm, mm, yeah.
Because, you also can go down to the, Chinese medicine or the chakras. And what is your stomach trying to tell you? What is your heart trying to tell you? I mean, are you closed, right? Or are you open? What is your headache, which is your third eye or your crown? There are parts of your body that all have a significant, and this energy, this beautiful machine, this energetic thing that we get to call a home for our spirit. Yeah, I am rough on it. I am rougher on my body than anybody could possibly be rough on it. I mean, I am sometimes I have to go, I'm sorry. I mean, I'll be in meditation and I'll apologize to this body because I'm putting it through hell because I'm just not tuning in and saying, "Oh, okay, I need to do this. And I think we all do it. We just bulldoze our way through it.
Yeah. And something new that I've been practicing lately that it's gonna, it's, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Parasites.
I
They'll get
remember
in
when you were training
you.
yeah.
They will get in you and they will start to control your nervous system. They will start to control your body. And
Mhm.
some people even think that cancers are now being caused by parasites. And can I just tell you, I did a cleanse a while ago and I'm back on another one, a parasite cleanse, and you would be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. You would be
I
surprised at the
remember how
things that
graphic
you
you
don't
were.
believe are in your body that are in
Yeah,
your body.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you'll feel so much better when they're gone. And it really, I feel it goes into part of the spiritual warfare
For
because
sure.
we're parasites. Like that 1% that wants us to have nothing and be happy, they're parasites too.
Hmm.
I don't know, just throwing it out there because it came up and needed to be said.
When my first daughter from Romania came, she was 2 years old. And I had read somewhere that they came with parasites, Giardia, I think is what it's called. It's a type of parasite that eats at your stomach.
Oh, there's so many
She
kinds.
had the pot belly because she had
Oh,
malnutrition. And so I take her to the pediatrician. And I'm like, I want her tested. I brought a baggie with some
yeah, doo-doo.
doo-doo. And I said, I need this tested. And the nurse said, no, she's fine. We've already tested. I mean, this is when we're going.
Hmm.
Back a few weeks later, she would grind her teeth.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
a
one of
sign.
the things at night, she would grind her teeth and she'll, back, and I'd take the specimen. And she was full of them. You could actually see
Oh,
them. Like
poor
once she
baby.
got her meds, within a week, her belly went down, her behavior changed, and she could actually sleep at night without grinding her teeth. It was such a simple little thing. It was something so simple that nobody wanted to test. And once it was done, I mean, it's the cause of many issues like ADHD or ADD. I mean, parasites are a big thing in our body.
And
I
cleansing the
had
metals is big too.
absolutely.
ADHD, Asperger's, all that stuff. I
Mhm.
wish I knew that when my kids were little. I
Right.
really wish but that wasn't my journey and it is what it is. But yeah, and don't think your doctor's going to help you because medicine does not believe there's a problem in the United States or any of those other countries that are considered clean and not third world. But I'm here to tell you I have seen, I know, and I used to love sushi.
I still love sushi.
I know. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll get back.
I know, but I know where you're coming from. And also, there's the thing. I was talking to somebody this past week. I think it was my friend that was here from North Carolina. You know, if you go to a cardiologist, okay, cardiologist is going to take care of anything that has to do with your heart, your blood pressure. That is it. That person went to school not to know I mean, they know where the body stands and all that, but they're not going to be an expert in a problem that you have in your colon. They're going to, because when
Yep.
they graduate, that's their specialty. And they can't tell you or prescribe something for your stomach or your intestines, only for your heart. So what people do is they go to a doctor, and if that person doesn't have the specialty to be able to diagnose another issue, they're like, okay, there's nothing else wrong with you. You know, you have to go to the right people. I mean, don't go by me. I don't go to the doctor, but you have to go to the right people,
Well, you
because
have to do your own research and
you
be
have to
your
do your own
own
research.
advocate.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to go to a dentist for a problem in my colon. I'm just saying,
Right. Oh,
you know,
absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, back to the parasites, learning what I've learned in the past few months about how they control the nervous system, how they control your mind to make you want to eat things they want. Wow. If that's not war against your mind, body, and spirit, I don't know what is.
yeah, really is.
Well, and then there's all the other stuff that I don't get me going down the food track because
That's another day. That's
yeah,
another subject.
yeah, I can't go there because I just get so worked up about it.
Mhm. Oh,
And
you've experienced it. And
well,
you
we
know
all are
why.
now. We're all getting everything sprayed and
Mhm.
poisoned and
Breathe, Linda. Breathe
yes,
through it.
I'm breathing. I am breathing now.
Thank you so much. I think it's such a great subject, mind, body, and spirit. Um,
Definitely warrants some deeper dives, you know?
yeah,
I'd love to hear what people think.
yeah. Maybe have like a guest and really touch that upon again, and how all that affects our consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Where does consciousness lie? Does it lie in the body? Does it lie in the mind? Or does it lie in the spirit? Or is it a combination of all three? What, I don't know, but I would love some input.
Yeah, yeah, I would too. Mm. Well,
Thank
my
you.
dear, thank you. And everybody out there, please share this. Please hit the like, subscribe button. You know, we're fighting that algorithm all the time, so we want this message to get out. And if you would help us, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Mamacita.
Bye, honey.
Bye, everybody.